The average age of a unicorn founder used to be 35. But now, Gen Z founders in their 20s are scaling brands out of their bedrooms. And here's the craziest part, nobody's saying it out loud, but Gen Z tech founders are completely rewriting the rules. And half the industry hasn't even caught up yet. The founders that I've seen take off in 2025 and the folks that are ready to take off in 2026 are not the smartest, are not the most funded, and even ones with massive teams. These are people who've learned to tell their story really, really well. Now, people can't help but root for them. And that one skill that Gen Z founders have mastered, while the rest of the folks have been left behind, is storytelling. And today, I'm going to break down three different frameworks that Gen Z founders have used to build six-figure businesses and their personal brands really fast. But why should you listen to me? Hey, I'm Namita, and I've spent 14 years in tech in various roles like business analysis, product management, project management, delivery, and a lot of other high qualified roles. And over the way, I have grown a personal brand for myself called the Analyst Edge on Instagram, which is a community of 24,000 aspiring techies trying to break into the industry using their business analysis skills. Now I help tech founders get more clarity and get seen and build more credibility in your space and grow their products and their personal brand. So, are you ready? Let's get into it. Strategy number one, storytelling is your unfair advantage. Like, storytelling is literally Gen Z's superpower right now. And the wildest part, there is actually research that is done behind this. And I have an article right here that talks about Stanford found people remember stories 22 times more than they do facts. So that's 22 times. Now imagine every time you shared a screenshot, a feature update, or a metric, instead of a story, you are 22 times more easier to forget. And it hurts. This is why Gen Z founders don't just say, hey, we've hit 1,000 users. Instead, they tell you, we hit 1,000 users this month, and it still blows my mind because last year I was building this alone and at 2 a.m. with four different browsers crying for help. Feel the difference? One is information, the other is emotion. Emotion always wins. So when you tell a story, people emotionally connect. And people don't just clap and say and forget about it. Rather, they stay invested in your story. Here's strategy number two, the C.O.D.E framework. Now, this is the exact formula that all Gen Z founders turn boring updates into really powerful stories. So, almost every founder I have known has struggled with this and have felt that how am I going to tell my story without sounding cringe or without sounding fake or even salesy for that matter? So, you've tried trying to write your story or the beginning of your story, right? And halfway feels like a forced TED talk. I get it. And here's where this framework can help you get better. Start with the C.O.D.E framework. C stands for conflict. Here you start with frustration. It might be a bug that just wouldn't get fixed, or a 2 a.m. meltdown, or a moment when you felt that everything was impossible. And O stands for outcome. Like, what did you do about it? What changed when you tried a certain method, or what changed when you tried a certain element? D stands for data. This is one metric or just like one result to just prove that this matters, right? So you gained your first 100 users, or you dropped your customer churn by 10%, or even simple clean, hey, today we just shipped 4 features. Simple. E stands for emotion, and this is the part that most founders skip. And look, I understand where you're coming from, but trust me, this is going to be your golden key, right? Now you have to talk about how that moment actually felt. What was the emotion you went through? Start writing about it, right? And this is the most important aspect of this framework, which is going to help you level up your storytelling game. And here's where you can use this framework for. You can use this framework for writing LinkedIn posts. You can use this framework for pitching your intros. You can use it for product updates. You can use it for launch recaps. You can also use it for your About You page on your own website, or even in your investor deck, if that matters to you. This framework ensures your stories will land every freaking time. Let's talk strategy number 3: storytelling patterns that make your startup or your product almost impossible to ignore. After studying many Gen Z founders, and in these Gen Z founders, I started noticing patterns in the way they tell their stories. Patterns that show up like everywhere in their LinkedIn posts, in their product updates, in their About You page, in their pitch decks, in their event meetups, in their TED Talks for that matter. Pattern number 1: lead with the founding frustration. Like, why did you even start doing this? Like, you can forget your polished pitch. You just need to focus on the moment you started that broke you into building this product. Pattern number 2: making the customers their hero. Now, I've seen a lot of founders talk about themselves as heroes or even the messiah who's come to save a lot of people's lives, etc. But nobody's going to be interested in what you're doing for us. Rather, we would be more interested in how I would be the main character in that product. And that's where Gen Z founders have an edge. They make you the hero of the film. So instead of saying, we built an automation that is going to save 10 hours of your time, they flip and say, we built something that our customers can use to get 10 hours of their life back every week. See the difference? Pattern number 3: wrap your data in an emotion. Nobody is happy about seeing numbers now. They want to see it in emotion. Think of Duolingo or Spotify Wrapped. They don't just share data, they share a story where how people feel about using that product. Spotify Wrapped is a perfect example. By taking your entire data and wrapping it into nostalgia, into colors, into visuals, and even having it or giving it a personality, data becomes a story and people relate to it, and that's where it goes viral. Okay, so now you've learned the one skill that's going to separate all the founders from the ones building six-figure brands in 2026: storytelling. Now, this skill is what is going to make your startup grow. This is how your investors will see you grow and how people will believe in your product. Remember, storytelling is just one part of the building a magnetic personal brand. Storytelling can be an added advantage, but if you actually want to position yourself as an attractive magnetic personality online that would attract partnerships, investors, dream clients, and even real opportunities, you'll have to definitely go watch my previous video where we spoke about how to build a signature personal brand as a tech founder in 2026. I will link it right here in the description. And if you loved this one, please show me some love by hitting subscribe. And please stay close because I've got so many videos coming your way to help you grow your brand, to help you grow yourself as a founder without being burnt out or even without the cringe. So, see you in the next one.